Time now for an AIG reality check. Is the outrage directed at the insurance giant misguided? Michael Santoli is associate editor at Barron's Magazine. He joins us. Good morning.
Morning.
Do you think it's safe to say that we will now definitely get our money back, either because the execs will give it back or from this tax that's being proposed?
Yeah, I think we're on the path to where at least most of the money is going to be given back. I do think that this crescendo of outrage has basically had its effect in that regard. I'm not necessarily sure we've been focusing on the right things. We put $175 billion here. We're focused on $175 million in bonuses, but it does seem as if we've had enough of a noise here to get the money back.
What about the question of whether this uproar is misguided? Should we be directing it more at the execs who took the bonus that was in their contract, or at the government that didn't talk about this ahead of time before giving them the money?
AIG was taken over in an emergency situation. It was not a matter of negotiation and hashing out all the details. And I do think we have to remember that. And I also think that what we really have to keep in mind is that we plugged a hole in the system here with this money. It wasn't about how are we going to actually manage every aspect of this company. I do think the lesson here is either the government should put money in and don't ask questions, or actually manage things, take a spot on the board of directors, and decide all the company policies.
Well, the president is now proposing in the future taking over these non-bank institutions that are in trouble. Do you see any possible downside to that?
Well, the downside is if the government gets overly aggressive in taking over institutions that maybe could go on their own. But I do think it makes sense to actually take them under government control and really decide what their fate is going to be, as opposed to just give them money and hope it works out.
What about this $1 trillion infusion announced today? What is the Fed hoping to accomplish with that?
The Fed already has interest rates that it controls at zero, so it can't bring them any lower than that. The Fed is going to throw money at the market to buy mortgage-related securities and other government securities to anchor interest rates at a low level and hopefully free up the flow of credit in the system. That's what its goal has been for over a year now. This is a much more aggressive gesture in that direction.
All right, Michael Santoli, thanks.
Thanks, man.
Always good to have you here.